Hello and welcome to the 21st installment of the Synapse Misfire Podcast. If we did one episode a year, this podcast would be old enough to drink. Wow. I'm your host, Chris, and our co-host, Jordan.
What's up, everyone? You know what I just realized?
Yeah.
It's right around this
No, I
time.
don't know, actually. I don't know why I said yeah.
It's right around this time. We would be like, wow, 12 whatever weeks. But we record episodes twice, 2 episodes.
So it's not technically 21 weeks. It's been
11.
released. No, but it's been released 21 weeks.
Yeah. So I've always thought about this. Wow, we record every other week, so feels shorter. I think that's why it feels shorter.
Probably, yeah.
Anyway.
So, you can find us on Spotify and YouTube, or you can import our RSS feed into your favorite podcasting app using the link in the description. And if you wanted to contact us, you can send us an email at synapsemisfire@pm.me. Send us your comments, questions, concerns, or death threats. Keep in mind, any and all emails that are directed towards either my son, Chunk, or Jordan's son, Oscar. There's a fat orange 4-legged child that he has, and I have a bit of a long sausage roll looking child. Our cats. They will be read directly to them. So just don't be too mean. Chunk, he's a bit sensitive.
Do you listen to our podcast on YouTube? Because I know sometimes you listen when you're waiting for Cyberpunk to install or anything.
I listen to it, yeah, on YouTube.
So the reason I asked is, have you ever seen the end card that I put?
I do. I saw it once in one of the other episodes.
It mentions if you threaten our cats.
Yeah, don't.
That'll be the end of you.
Don't.
So.
No, it'll be read directly to them. But Chunk is a bit sensitive, so.
And Oscar's a bit fat. So.
He's fat and old, so.
Fat
just
and
like
old.
me.
You're 19.
Yeah. I'm thinking my lifespan is like 20, 25 tops.
Oh, shit. So by episode, I don't know, 180, it's just going to be the Jordan show?
Probably, yeah.
Damn.
Synapse Misfire featuring Jordan.
And you know what? It'll be Oscar and Chunk, if Oscar's still around.
Yeah. Chunk will just be like, meow, and Oscar will be like, ah. That's all he does. He doesn't meow, he just goes, ah.
Yeah, that's true. He does.
Immediately off topic.
Immediately. But hey, I wouldn't have it any other way. So what have you been up to in the last 7.5 minutes?
7.5 minutes?
Don't tell me you beat it. I was in the bathroom, man.
You know, a man's gotta do what a man's gotta do.
I knew my coffee tasted premier.
So.
It's incredibly instantly turned.
So I didn't want to talk about too many of the stories in the last episode, because the last episode was a Cyberpunk spoiler cast primarily.
If you haven't seen it, check it out.
It was a bit of a long one, too. We had a couple breaks just because this I don't know what kind of coffee you bought us, Jordan, but it's making me piss like crazy. All right.
Mine always, every time I get Dunkin', it makes me piss like crazy.
I don't know what it is about Dunkin' Donuts coffee. I can drink any other coffee. I can drink 10 of them and be fine.
Hey. Just cleaning up the old bladder. I actually, funny enough, before I went for my last job, I drank a Dunkin' coffee to pee at the drug test.
That's fair.
So
that's fair, too.
It's a good superpower to have.
And it dilutes it a bit, so if you have cocaine in your bloodstream.
They're like, is that cream, sugar, or cocaine?
Just pissing pure cocaine.
Oh, it's like fucking kidney
water.
stones. It's
all
like
right.
shooting gravel.
All right, that's... Moving on.
Please subscribe.
I don't know if you want to after that.
Yes.
So.
Anyway.
You know what I've been up to over the last few weeks?
What's that?
I've been on the hunt.
Hunt?
Yes. For a replacement.
Okay.
For my Volkswagen.
Oh, I thought you were going to buy Viagra. Okay.
A replacement for my cock and ball ass.
And ball?
Yeah, just the one. I'm keeping one regular one. So, I've been on the hunt for a replacement for my Volkswagen. Because I'm planning on selling it.
Okay.
Because, I think I've talked to you about this before.
It's valued, right?
Well, it's worth more than I paid for it, number one. And number two, I want to get a pickup truck, a small pickup truck.
Small, yeah, Ford Rangers. Because I remember you kept talking about Ford Rangers.
Yeah.
Are you thinking bigger than that, or are you
I
gonna
was
go with the Ranger?
thinking something in that size range.
Yeah.
I was thinking like Ford Ranger or like a Toyota Tacoma or something. But I did do some looking around. I actually looked at a truck before you came here.
Yeah.
After I got home from work. And it was pretty nice actually. It wasn't a Ford Ranger, but it was a Silverado, but it had the standard cab with the 6-foot like short bed.
Yeah,
So it was small. I don't want a huge truck.
No.
Giant trucks are annoying.
Was it a V6 or a V8?
It was the V6.
Alright, so this will be a little better on gas too.
And I wanted the V6 just because I don't need a V8.
Yeah, that's why I was asking. I was like, I couldn't imagine you utilizing the potential of a V8.
Yeah, like I don't need all 8 cylinders. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So, but the main reason is I wanted something a bit bigger. I wanted something 4-wheel drive. So, yeah. But anyway, trying to find a single cab, short bed, V6 4-wheel drive pickup truck with a 5-speed manual transmission is a bit tough.
Oh, you're looking for a manual one, yeah.
Oh yeah.
So is the one you looked at manual?
Yeah.
Interesting.
It was a Silverado. It was a 5-speed, and I actually don't know where I stand on it because the guy told me it was fine when I talked to him, but when I went to look at it, it had no pedal whatsoever for the brake. Like you could just bottom out the brake pedal straight to the floor.
Okay.
And it turns out that there was an issue with the brake line, and I said to him, look, if you fix that, I will buy the truck. I essentially told him that. I said, I'll buy the truck if you.
How many miles?
Like 160,000.
And how much does he want?
$3,000. But he said he'd be happy with 2. So I was gonna offer.
Okay, that's not bad. Yeah.
Sometime in the middle.
Like 2,300, 2,500.
Something like that, because that's about what I'm gonna get for my Volkswagen.
If he
it's like
fixes
$2,000.
if he does in fact fix it, not a bad deal.
If he fixes it.
Everything else seem okay? No like frame rot or anything?
Not from what I saw, but I wasn't able to get under the truck because, one, it's really cold and the driveway is really icy, so.
If you go to lay down under it, you're sliding. You're like, what the?
Yeah, my fun fact about most pickup trucks, most manual pickup trucks, the parking brake is in the same place it would be in the automatic, so in the footwell.
Yep.
And my dad went to pop the hood, and he accidentally hit the parking brake release.
Oh, did it start to roll at all?
Well, the guy's driveway is a really steep hill.
Yeah.
So it rolled like crazy, and he had to hit the e-brake again. Because the regular brakes didn't work because the brake line was worn out. I told him I'd buy the truck if it was, because it sounded really nice.
Yeah.
I told him I'd buy the truck if he fixed the brake line. He goes, oh, I guess I'll probably fix it tomorrow then. I'm like, I don't know if I believe him or not.
Yeah, because.
But.
Does he know which brake line for sure?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Yeah,
it was does. Because
pissing out fluid or something.
Yeah, he goes, hey, just jerk the wheel all the way to the left. So he did that, and it's that brake line right there.
Yeah.
You would hit the pedal on the passenger side. You would hit the pedal, and it would piss out brake fluid. So.
I guess it's a fairly simple fix then, if he knows what he's doing. You know.
He said he did a lot of the work on it himself, and it looked pretty good.
Hey, I mean, not a bad sell. A bad buy. I mean.
But if he does fix it, like I said, I'm not 100% sure that I have faith in him just do if I have faith in him doing that.
Yeah.
Just because I don't know the guy.
Yeah. Would you meet him? Craigslist or something?
It's Facebook Marketplace, so basically the same thing.
Yeah.
So I told him if he did it, fine, I'll look at the truck and I'll probably buy it because it's exactly what I'm looking for pretty much.
Yeah.
And it's a 99 Silverado, so it's one of the GMT 800 models.
Yeah.
And those things with the manual transmission will last forever.
I meant to ask, with the manual transmission, is your shifter in the center or is it on the console? I mean the steering steering box.
Steering column.
Yeah.
It's right on the floor.
Yeah. Like it's like a 4-wheel. It's like how the 4-wheel drive engages on a lot of trucks.
Like the because it's a taller vehicle, and you don't have, because in a car your transmission's like right next to you basically.
Yeah.
So you can get at it. No, it's like that, so the shifter's still here, like where you can grab it.
But it's really long.
It goes right to the floor, and it's really cool looking, actually.
Yeah. That's what I was saying. It's very similar to like a 4-wheel drive.
I did actually test drive a Ford Ranger before I looked at this truck, but I didn't go for it. One, because like it was a bit smaller than I thought it would be, in terms of area in the driver's cabin.
Yeah. Yeah, you're a tall lad, so.
And the front end on the one I was looking at was all rotted to shit.
Oh yeah,
like all the important pieces that like hold the front wheels on.
He's like, it's just missing the motor mounts, the axle. You're good. Anything besides that.
Yeah, but I really liked how because I could never really get the second gear right on my Volkswagen.
Yeah.
I can go into first, and then you go, and then you're like 10 miles an hour. That's it. But you shift into second, and there's like, you have to like really, really, really slowly let off the clutch, or you'll kind of
jerk into it,
buck the car.
Yeah.
But I didn't have that when I was on the Ranger. You just have to give it a lot more gas to get it in gear.
Yeah, with a bigger vehicle like that.
And I believe, no, it was the V6. I was gonna say I think it might have been the 4-cylinder.
Yeah.
But because I kind of want to avoid the 4-cylinder trucks, just because I want, if I'm gonna get a truck,
bit light duty. With a 4-cylinder. 4-cylinders are good for like your normal ass car, but as soon as you put a load in a truck like that, it gets a little bit bogged down.
Yeah. So, but that's my plan at the moment, and I genuinely do hope that guy actually does fix that and get back to me.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Even though I have my doubts, a guy can dream, you know.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. That'd be sick. And yeah, you know, seems nice while everything's good, you know.
But I believe it was Kratos who said, if you expect nothing, you'll never be disappointed, or something to the effect of that.
Something to the effect, yeah.
He says that to Atreus, I believe.
Yeah, which is true. Good advice. Thanks, Mr. Kratos.
Mr. Kratos.
Fortnite Kratos, man. Master Chief is in Fortnite now.
Dude, Kratos is in Fortnite. Oh my god.
Master Chief is in Fortnite
Master Chief is in
Jason
Fortnite.
actually has the Kratos skin.
Oh my god.
We played Fortnite the other day, and the fucking dude had the Kratos skin. I
can't believe that's real.
I'm surprised that Sony went for that. You know, Sony's usually really stingy with like getting their licenses in other games or like just involved in any way.
Like, what's going on, man? Are you hurting for cash that much?
So, you good with the truck? Or do you have anything else to add about the truck?
I don't have anything else to add. Really.
I just wanted to bring this up because it kind of made me nervous. The thing I added that's really vague that just says Guy Neck VR. This guy on Reddit was playing Population 1.
Yeah. That's
on the Quest 2
Battle Royale.
Yeah.
VR
playing
game.
it on his Quest 2, and he crouched down and he broke his neck.
What?
Mm-hmm. He crouched down physically.
Yeah.
And his neck broke.
Like in the game?
In real life.
In real life.
It had nothing to do with like sudden movement or anything like that, or the quest being too heavy. Well, kind of. What it was, the doctor found out, was he was having pain. He had tight muscles that were pressing on his vertebrae, and when he bent down with the VR headset, the muscle put a lot of pressure, and I think it was his G2 or G7 vertebrae shifted, and it broke his neck.
That's fucking horrifying.
And he's has his the like neck cast thing on, and he's healing or whatever, but people are like, wait a minute, what the fuck? And the reason I said it makes me a little nervous is because I've been playing Jurassic World Aftermath. It's a new VR game, and in that game you hide from dinosaurs, and for some reason the height is calibrated properly. My floor is the floor in the game, but the desks and stuff you have to hide under are like not real world level. They're extremely low to the ground, and I've been so low with my neck bent in such a way that I've actually felt pain where I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna start clicking the stick to crouch because it's like starting to scare me.
That's honestly like one of the most terrifying things I've heard in a long time. Guy just playing VR, crouches down, snaps his neck.
Yep.
Terrifying.
Absolutely terrifying.
Granted, it was kind of external factors. I imagine
it was, in fact, yeah.
I imagine the two aren't correlated very much. God damn.
Yeah.
I imagine the two aren't heavily related to each other. Like,
No,
if
it
he
just-
crouched down in general, that would have happened.
To bend to get something, yeah.
But still, that's kind of scary.
Um,
I didn't know that was a thing that could physically happen.
funny, I shouldn't say funny enough, but oddly enough, after he made the post about breaking his neck, his Facebook account was disabled by Oculus. And he posted it in the Oculus subreddit.
Shit. Oh,
So
shit.
So people were saying he should sue them because
Dude,
they
they
have
know.
a feeling that he was like trying to get publicity for them, but that's not what he was doing. He just fucking broke his neck. So coincidentally, they deactivated his Facebook, and he lost all of his content, all of his games. He said he had over $300 in games.
Really
So-
gets the noggin jogging,
Yeah,
don't you think?
I'm really nervous for you. Do you know that?
really nervous for me specifically.
Yeah,
Why is that?
with your Facebook account. Because there's been so many people getting
Oh.
their Facebook accounts deactivated. Because apparently there's an algorithm they're using, and it's going out of whack and just banning random accounts. Just has me nervous, man.
Because I'm like,
I just really don't want to see the Quest 2 be like a flop for you, because it's such a good
like, I
headset.
don't post stuff, but like I'm fairly active. Like I browse the marketplace and I message people on marketplace all the time.
Yeah. I'm just nervous. Because a guy, a couple weeks ago, he bought Quest 2s for his niece and nephew, I believe. And he made them 2 Facebook accounts a week in advance so they'd be ready. And then as soon as they linked it, it got banned. So that's why I told you like 3 months ago to make an account. So.
Yeah, I made an account and I think I linked mine already.
Okay, so hopefully you'll be all good. I'm just really nervous because I really want you to love the Quest 2 as much as I do, so we can play together. And also because getting banned is just shitty in general.
I thought you meant you were nervous for me because you thought I was gonna bend down one day and snap my neck.
Well, I mean, if that happens, it might kind of just be a good thing.
Yeah, I can't really disagree with
Oh
you.
man, that's fucked up.
If I bent down and I just one day everything goes black.
We're playing the Quest, and I'm like, we're in the game, and your mic is active, and you just go, oh shit! I just hear, and your character model is just laying down flat, and your character model is just laying down flat, and I'm just like, Chris, I'm poking you with like a rifle. Chris, are you
good?
okay?
You
You
good,
okay,
bro?
buddy? And then your body disappears. Chris left the game. I'm like, oh no.
Who would leave the game after I died? Chunk? Would he do it?
They banned your account when they heard the neck. they heard the neck snap and they deactivated your account.
Yeah, this is a dead person. Let's get rid of that account.
Oh man, I actually, not to make this all about me or like about VR, but I went to my mom's today so my girlfriend could wrap presents, and I had.
You gotta go to your mom's to do that?
It was my mom's presents for the rest of my family. My girlfriend wrapped them for her.
Okay.
And I played my Quest 2 there. I brought it, and I played it, and I was like, you know what? This is fucking epic. I brought the Quest 2, and let me just tell you, putting the thing on, tracing a little square, and just playing to the same fidelity that I play at home
Just get
was so nice. It's so cool.
I don't know if they still have them. Get one of those backpack PCs.
Yeah,
That MSI
that
made?
shit must be heavy. That'll break your neck.
Not for VR or anything, just for transport.
For Cyberpunk.
Yeah, Cyberpunk on the go. Yeah, you're gonna have a PC that will somehow fit in a backpack that somehow also has like 3 3090s in it.
Yeah. That way I can get approximately like 48 frames per second on
Maybe
high.
49 if you were lucky.
Maybe if I overclock them. I overclock all 3.
Yeah, and you run it at like 720, 720p,
480.
360.
140.
If you just
One
run it
by
at
one.
1 pixel.
1 by 1. Yeah. Oh man. Anyway, yeah. Don't snap your neck playing VR. I don't need that type of negativity in my life.
Don't kill yourself playing VR. I don't need that in my life.
Yeah. Just wanted to tell you that it's pretty fucked up.
That's scary, actually.
But you got any other stories or?
I found a crazy YouTube video the other day. I
Crazy?
just feel like I should talk about it.
Like sadistic crazy or like crazy as in like awesomely entertaining?
A bit both. A bit
Oh.
of both, depending on how you feel about bugs.
Okay. What kind of bugs? What kind of bugs we're talking about? The good bugs, the bad bugs, the evil bugs, spiders,
Flies, big flies.
big flies.
Like a big fly.
Like
a horse fly.
Like Stingfly from Ben 10.
Nah, not like him. A horsefly.
Horsefly. Okay. Those are the ones that bite, right? Or sting.
Yeah, those are the ones that bite out chunks of your flesh.
Okay, never seen one in person, but I don't like them already.
They're terrifying.
Okay.
If you
ever do they just do it for no reason, or do you have to like provoke them?
No, they'll do it for no reason.
Okay, epic.
I got bit by a horsefly once, and on my leg, and it swole up to the size of my kneecap.
Okay, epic. I like them already. Not
yeah.
really.
So, I watched a video, and it was called Ant Colony versus Horsefly.
Okay.
And a guy, he had this ant farm, and he just took a horsefly and put it in the enclosure with the ants.
Yeah.
So, right, and then the ants started fighting the thing, and they killed it and ate it.
Yeah.
Imagine being an ant, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, a creature that's like 100 times your size gets dropped into your enclosure.
And your first instinct is to eat it.
And then you kill it and eat it with no hesitation.
Have you seen the video of them doing that to the bees?
No, I haven't actually.
A bee goes into an anthill. I'll try to find it later. And it eats one of the ants, and then it just gets ambushed. And
ants are
eviscerated.
Ants are built different.
Well, it's because they use, numbers. Like the strength of an ant, whatever.
They're crazy.
What are they, the strongest creature proportionally for
something
weight,
like that, because
class?
they can drag stuff off that's like 400 or 500 times their size or something like that.
And they can. So think about what happens when you get 100 ants swarming a horsefly.
Yeah.
They could probably tear it limb from limb like a gorilla would us.
Crazy, dude. It was
That's
insane.
That's nuts.
And another thing I saw was about a wasp trap of it was a guy who was catching wasps in this little trap to drown them, and he even made
drown them?
Yeah, to drown them in apple juice and soap and vinegar.
Ooh.
The soap is so they break surface tension.
Yeah,
the
they
vinegar,
can't stand, right?
The vinegar is so that it keeps honeybees away. Because honeybees are great.
Yeah, we like honeybees. They're nice.
They're pretty good for the planet.
Honeybee.
Fuck wasps. Wasps suck. So.
Okay, I'm glad we just skimmed over what I said. I'm glad.
So anyway, but he was getting these wasps, and there was in the background it was focusing on this big wasp, like a big wasp, and there was two wasps trying to drink from the thing, whatever it was, the concoction that was made. And then another wasp shows up and just pushes him into the thing.
Oh,
into the thing and drowns him.
It's like an alpha wasp. He's like, get out of here.
Yeah, it was crazy.
He Hitman him. He threw him over the ledge.
Bugs are nuts, man. I also saw a video of a guy that just caught this weird looking fly, this hairy fly.
Ugh.
It was disgusting.
That is, yeah.
And he was it was literally
2.5
this
long.
big.
Oh, like an inch and a half.
Yeah.
Damn.
It was a giant fly. And he was just holding it. And I'm like, why are you doing this? No commentary, he was just holding it.
Okay, interesting. That's...
So, basically, yeah, I went into the YouTube bug community, as I would call it. And I kind of want to venture back there, but I really don't like bugs very much.
I don't really like bugs either.
I watched a spider fight a tarantula hawk. That was really fun.
Is the tarantula hawk the one with wings? Because I just saw a thing fucking from Australia. It's a tarantula with wings.
The tarantula hawk it's a giant hornet or a wasp, a giant one that hunts and kills tarantulas.
God damn.
And it's friggin' huge.
If you ever want to be fascinated by shit like that, go to the subreddit Nature is Metal.
And I was watching this tarantula hawk got caught in a black widow's web.
Yeah.
And the black widow was trying to fight it, and the dudes filming it were cheering it on.
The tarantula or the hawk? I mean the black widow or the hawk.
The black widow. And he goes, "Yeah, get that fucker. Yeah, get him."
Oh, that's so funny. Man. But that's God, I I hate spiders.
I really don't like spiders. I really don't like them
I don't
either.
like bugs. I don't mind creatures, but I don't like bugs.
I like it, like small creatures are fine.
Yeah.
Like even like mice, they kind of surprise you sometimes, like wild mice. But
Yeah.
like in general,
Alright.
they're okay. Yeah. Like rats, pet rats, they're super cute. Like sewer rats, ugh.
Kind of gross, but at least they're easy to spot.
Yeah, like
you
I
can
could
kick those things.
Like
flying.
I could see a rat. If a rat came at me, I'd curb stomp a rat. I don't care.
Yeah, you'd have to kick it. You know, just kick it. Step
But
it.
then once you get into like the bigger territory, like ferrets, house cats, like possums, cats, raccoons,
Oh god.
foxes,
I like raccoons.
little things
I
like
would
that.
love a raccoon
They're
as a
cute.
pet.
I love them. It's actually illegal to own a raccoon in the state that we're in.
Sick. Dude, so I don't have to own him. I can just have him be an outdoor raccoon. He just comes to me sometimes.
Yeah, but you can buy raccoons in states where it's legal. It's also illegal to own a pet monkey.
Yeah. Well, I mean that. I don't know. I kind of get that. I mean,
That's
a
also
monkey
kinda-
did rip a lady's face off like 5 years ago.
That's also kind of true, or kind of a good thing to limit, just simply because a monkey or like a chimp or
Very capable.
some kind of ape like that, they're like almost people.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing is, a chimp is like, it's almost a guy. You know what I mean? You're looking at it and you can like, yeah, I can see something in this one.
Yeah.
And chimps have like specific societies and stuff that they hang out in, like groups of chimps.
Yeah.
And I don't want to turn this into the Joe Rogan Experience talking about chimps the whole podcast, but chimps are interesting animals, and they're like basically people. So I don't think you should. I don't think you should own a chimp.
No.
Or like a monkey.
Honestly, it'd be kind of like slavery.
In a way, yeah.
It would honestly be
But
very
they're not
to that level.
Yeah, they're not in that level. Like, they basically are like us, but instead of maxing intelligence, they max strength.
Yeah. They're pure strength.
Yeah, like they did like intelligence 3, strength 10, and we did like strength 4, intelligence 10.
Well, yeah.
So
Yeah. Have you ever heard of Left 4 Dead? Well, I know you have. Have you ever played it, rather?
yes, I have.
Do you like it?
Yeah.
Well, it turns out we are going to be playing a game very soon, then, buddy, old pal. You ever
Back
heard
4 Blood.
Back 4 Blood?
Back 4 Blood.
You seen that?
I have.
I'm hyped. It looks good.
I only saw like a little bit of it, so I mean.
What do you think it looks alright, or do you?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't really. I mean.
It looks like a nice modern Left 4 Dead. And
Not
I'm
like-
kind of excited.
I'm not looking at it in a way of like, man, I really can't wait for this. I'm looking at it like, I'd play that.
Yeah, that's how I'm not like eager for it, because at the end of the day, like Left 4 Dead isn't like it's a horde shooter. Like it's a good horde shooter.
It's certainly a game.
Yeah, but Back 4 Blood, it's got really cool visuals, cool weapons, cool mechanics that I've seen, and like that's a nice boys game right there.
Yeah, I think
That's
so.
a game I could see us all hopping on. So I just wanted to bring it up because I was watching some gameplay on it today. It looks pretty epic.
Oh.
That's pretty sweet.
Huh.
Yeah. Now how about Hunt Showdown, baby?
I used to own that game.
Used to, so you refunded it?
Yeah, and then I was like, oh, this is kind of a multiplayer thing. I don't have any
Yeah.
friends, so.
Me and Jason have been playing it.
Oh yeah.
Super good. Super good.
That's the whole objective is to hunt like monster, right?
Yeah, you spawn in and there's one of, as of now, I don't think it was like this at launch because they added another monster, I'm pretty sure, but there's one of 3, or there can be 2 of 3. So it'll be like the spider, the butcher, or the assassin. It can be 2 of them, and then you kind of have to find clues to get them. And I think it's 12 or 16 real players per lobby. So you're all hunting these same monsters, and after you kill it, you have to banish it. And in that time frame, anyone can see you, and they can attack you. And after it's banished, you get a bounty token, escape, and your character levels up, and you know, etc., etc. But the thing, one of the biggest mechanics of the game is the permadeath. So you recruit a character, you build up their character class, and once you're past trainee mode, which is like level 10 or whatever, the character can die. And when they die, if you die with that character equipped, that's it. That character's gone. Any perks you had for them, gone. You know, any other stats you had, gone. And you kind of have to restart. So it gives you this sense of like there's times where the monsters might get banished and you fight and you end up in this all-out brawl, and then you and your partner are really low on health, and it really does come to a point where you're like, all right, this is my best character, we have to flee, and we just exit, and you take your character with you, and it will say like, oh, you chose another day to die or whatever. Versus it's not like another multiplayer game where it's like, oh, let's run in guns blazing, and oh, we died, we lost. It's not like a normal battle royale. Fortnite, you die, you're like, oh shit. This is like you have to make the decision of like, am I going to take this fight or should I just leave?
It's kind of like Dead by Daylight, from what I can gather.
Yeah, it's a bit like it. It's got similarities for sure.
It's like a bunch of players join a lobby, and instead of like working together collectively towards a goal, they work together in smaller teams towards a goal, and then they can fight each other.
Yeah.
That's something I might want to get back into at some point. Is Dead by Daylight. I have like
that'd be a good game to play.
I haven't played it in that game.
I haven't played it in forever, but I'd like to play that with
Neither
you guys too.
I haven't played it in like probably a year or more.
Yeah.
But I used to play it all the time.
That would be a cool game for all of us to play because it's like 5 players, 1 killer for.
Well, it's four players, 1 killer.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like 5 players.
We could either do kill your friends or we could do pubs.
Or pubs, yeah. I feel like kill your friends is cool, but then that killer's kind of lonely. Unless you just do
that's the
voice
thing.
chat.
That's why I didn't like it. I really liked pubs. I always played Survivor.
Yeah.
That game is fucking fun, dude.
Dead by Daylight, I have 20 hours in, and the last time I played was August 13th of 2018.
I have like 100, I think.
I can check for you. Let's see. You have 121 hours.
Yeah. So
that'd be something to play for sure.
And just a little factoid about me. Me playing 100 hours, putting 100 hours into a game is like a shitload for me.
Might as well be 500.
Yeah, like saying I have 100 hours into a game is like anyone else saying they have 1,000 hours into a game.
Huh.
Like, there are probably 2 games ever that I ever put 1,000 hours into.
What
like
games?
GTA 5 online between the 360 and the PC, I put probably over 1,000, well over 1,000. Minecraft definitely over 1,000.
Yeah.
Like probably 2,000, 2,500 hours.
Yeah, Minecraft's just a whole nother animal.
That's a different beast. That's like the only game that I've consistently played over like the last 8 years.
Yep.
So
for sure. But yeah, Hunt Showdown's super cool. Me and Jason have been loving the hell out of it. They actually have a Christmas event that we're supposed to play, but by the time this episode goes up, we'll probably already have played it. Which is kind of cool. But the game's fun. It does 3 players, so if you wanted to attempt to get it again at some point, 3 of us could play, if it interests you. I mean.
Yeah, that's interesting actually.
Because you can do teams of 3.
Oh, it's 3. I didn't say what I was gonna ask what the max team size was, but that'd be cool.
Yeah, it's a cool game. I mean, it'd be cool if it had bigger teams, but when you kind of play it and you see the mechanics and the way the game works, if you had teams of 5, you'd literally have 3 squads in the whole match. But yeah, no, cool though. Something to maybe consider.
Yeah, that's fair.
And then I don't know if you have anything you want to talk about before I go on my Medal of Honor rant. It's not really a rant. I don't have much to say other than it's really bad. But
made a really interesting observation and almost a theory, I would say. Because recently, like beginning of this week or before, like last week was kind of the last time I could, or the last time I had to work on any schoolwork I had for this semester, really.
Yeah.
So essentially, I was just like really scrambling to finish everything, and I eventually did get it finished. But I did make an observation. I did talk about like different weird subgenres and communities in YouTube already, but I'm convinced, 100% convinced, that without random Indian guys with really shitty mics making tutorials on YouTube, there would be no computer science students in America.
Oh yeah.
Like, just some like random Indian guy making a tutorial taught me more about programming than my professor did all term.
That you're paying like 40 rand for.
Yeah.
Or 20, whatever it is.
Some shit like that. I try not to keep count because it makes me sad.
That's interesting, but shitty.
Yeah. So, computer science students. It's the Indian guys that you want. If there's an Indian guy making a tutorial, you're guaranteed it's gonna be exactly what you're looking for.
Yeah.
Like things I wasn't even looking for, I was taught from like little tutorials like that.
Really?
So it's always like an Indian guy with like the shittiest mic.
Yeah.
Like the worst thing I've ever heard. And there's all kinds of background noise, and he doesn't know how to pronounce anything he's saying. But it's great. He's a smart guy.
He gets to the point.
He speaks better English than I do Hindi, so.
Could credit him that for sure. Do you remember I spoke about Medal of Honor VR?
Yes. Yep.
So, Cyberpunk comes out right Thursday.
Thursday.
What was it? The 10th of December.
Yes.
11th of December, Medal of Honor Above and Beyond comes out. And here I am, like, yes, this is the next big VR game I can get into on PC. I had you 3D print me that link cable plug. I picked it up the day before, so I'd be ready. And the game went for sale the next day.
How'd that work out, by the way?
Perfect. Awesome.
Good.
Well, one thing is I do notice that the hole for the cable to fit in is a little bit tight. Even though when I had you print it, I looked at the drawing, or the file, and the hole diameter was bigger by a lot than what it says on Oculus's website is the outer casing. Don't know what that's about.
That's weird.
I think it was like the outer casing on Oculus's website is like 0.5 millimeters or something like that, or 5 millimeters, and I think the cutout for that was like 8 millimeters according to the file, but it's smaller. So, but it works great though.
I would chalk that up just differences in
Measurements.
how things print.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah. But yeah, that little clip ended up working out great. Not Gen 1 though. Gen 1 was really bad. For those who were there when we talked about that, I think 2 episodes ago.
Yeah.
That was a disastrous. But
yeah, there was another one that Jordan sent me that I had printed that took like 40 minutes or something to print.
Yeah, it's a nice thick one.
Way more robust.
Yeah. But anyway, that worked great. I hooked it up, and as soon as I got into the game, I was like, something seems off. I did the tutorial, and I was like, this is kind of cool. You know, the gunplay is pretty cool. You know, when a game does a tutorial where it makes you pick your comfort options by thumbs up and thumbs down and makes it so your main character was shot and that's why they can't talk, I was like, you don't need to explain this to me. I get it. It's a game. My character can't fucking talk. Like, you know? But the tutorial is ridiculously long. And
yeah. I mean, silent protagonist games, there's plenty of those.
Yeah. And this game explains it as you got shot, and every 5 seconds in the tutorial, they're like, you can't talk, give me thumbs up, give me thumbs down, because, I don't know, it was both creative and incredibly annoying, because it'll be like, the guy was like, oh, we're going to put a comfort vignette on. Give me a thumbs up if you want to keep it, or thumbs down if you don't. Comfort vignette is when you move in the game, and it darkens the screen, so that way you feel less motion sickness or whatever.
Okay.
So you have to wait for him to fucking talk, then you have to give him the thumbs down. And just, it does that with all the settings. So I finally get past that. I get to the actual tutorial to shoot the guns, and I'm like, this is kind of solid. And then, all of a sudden, I'm hit with a lag spike, where the game is literally running at 30 frames. And it's just bad. It's just barely running.
Really? Really?
And I'm like, what is happening? I go to turn down the graphics settings, and I learned that there's no graphics settings. The game's just always at max. You can't change it. And the minimum requirements, the recommended, is an i7 and an RTX 2080.
What?
So
wait.
Oh, and by the way, did I mention it's a 170 gigabyte install?
So, one, it's a massive game.
Yeah.
So, massive game, and in all that install, they couldn't fit, like, more sets of textures to dial it down.
Yep. So, the game ran like shit.
Okay.
The gameplay was incredibly annoying. I looked at the reviews to see if I was the only one who saw this or, like, felt this way. And someone did say, like, hey, listen, it's only like this for the first hour, where you do an objective, and it literally brings you to a flat, like, flat screen game. Like, you know how sometimes in you don't really play VR, but in like Blair Witch VR, the cutscenes put you in a black room with a flat screen.
Yeah, I know
You've
the
seen
kind of idea you're referencing.
This will do this where you'll do one objective and then it will pop up with the screen going do 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 and it says victory, like it's a fucking mobile game.
Like, you see that in a lot of cheaper VR games where it'll just splash like some shitty splash screen and it'll just follow whatever the center of your head is.
It's basically like that.
And it's very clearly like a square image that they posted onto the on top of the VR environment.
So this game has no graphics settings, no smooth turn option, all snap turn.
I hate snap turn.
Runs incredibly poorly, and is $59.99.
I hate snap turn. I wouldn't buy it just because it's only snap turn.
So I think as of now, where we're at is they fixed a couple things. They got rid of that victory screen that annoyed me, and they added smooth turn. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
I'm waiting for some optimizations because let me just put it to you this way: they require a 2080, but the game looks like shit. Like there's like no textures on a lot of the characters' face. They're like smooth brain, they're smooth,
just vacant.
And here's where I'm at. This same day, I bought a $30 game on the Quest natively. Yep. And I thoroughly had much more fun with that than I did with the $60 massive game.
What game was it?
Warhammer 40k Battle Sister.
Okay, is that like similar to what is that game?
Vermintide.
Jesus, the one where you can go into like God mode and then first person
Asgard's
mode.
Wrath.
Asgard's Wrath.
It's not similar. It's a shooter, but it is similar. It's not like Asgard's Wrath. Asgard's Wrath actually didn't age well.
No.
And also runs like shit and is like ridiculously oversized for an install.
Huh.
Anyway, but you can get it for free if you buy a Quest 2.
I've seen about 20 minutes of gameplay of Asgard's Wrath, and it looks pretty good.
Yes, it's either gonna click or you're gonna be like, what the fuck is this? And for me, I've tried it 3 different times, and I'm like, for the first 20 minutes, I'm like, yeah, I like this, and then I just get overwhelmed like poor inventory management and like an overcrowded like menu, and I'm like, I'm done.
That's what I felt about Kingdom Come Deliverance.
Yeah,
that was
I hear
a
a
game
lot of complaints about
I
that.
was really kind of excited for when I first saw it. I was like, this looks really good. And I'm like, I played for maybe 6 or 10 hours or something like that. And I was like, this isn't fun.
Yeah. I played it for about all of 25 minutes and I was like, yeah, I'm not into this.
I won't go into a rant here, but the combat just like really sucks.
Yeah.
Like they tried to make it realistic, but it to a fault.
But like Mordhau does it better.
I was gonna say Chivalry, but yeah, same idea.
Yeah.
Like Chivalry Mordhau does it better.
Yeah.
Than that, because it's like you have to choose a specific area to strike, and then like the combat in that game is like you have to do it step by step, whereas in Mordhau or in Chivalry, it's just a little more floaty, where you just kind of point at where you want to strike and it'll go. Yeah. And there's different types of strikes and stuff.
Yeah, understandable. But yeah, honestly, just to summarize Medal of Honor, it might turn into a good game. It's made by Respawn. They're good developers, but that also means EA is involved.
Titanfall guys.
Titanfall and Apex, so, 2 fairly good games. But it's tough because with a lot of VR games, it's weird to say, but I try to take price into consideration. Because with VR, there's a lot of, price, there's no standard price for VR, really. So, when you buy a $60 game on flat screen, you expect a certain amount of delivery on that $60.
Yeah, for a while, it looked like the de facto price of VR games. It was like $39.99.
Yeah.
And that was like a lot of the games I saw, but it's still like really all over the place.
Yeah. So as soon as I saw the game was $60, because the rumor was that it was going to be $39.99, but I saw it for $60, I was like, okay, this should be like Half-Life Alyx. Half-Life Alyx,
really
which on day one had the best interaction with the environment out of any VR game to date. Has an incredible campaign, incredible story, beautiful graphics that you can literally run on like an i5 on the lowest settings with like a fucking 970, no problem.
So like how you would need the hardware you would need to run like a lot of, like, most other VR games.
Yeah. And when I launched the game, I was just like, oof, this is not good. So, I mean, I'll probably give it a shot in the future, but I don't know, man. There was a lot of screen cuts as well, which I can't stand for VR games. Like, I don't mind loading screens and stuff.
Oh, okay.
But it's a lot of,
yeah,
like...
I gotcha.
It's a lot of, like, you talk to this character, boom, black screen, boom, now you're in a new environment talking to this character. Versus in Half-Life Alyx, there's long levels, and then you hit the end of the level, and it loads in the next section, and then that's the only time you see a loading screen, and then it's a paid level.
The way you would really have to load a VR game like that would be like that, like you would load an open world game.
Yeah.
Where it loads just like what you're looking at.
Yeah.
Or like a certain cone around you or something.
Mm-hmm.
Where, you know, obviously like games with huge maps, not the whole map isn't loaded all at once, obviously.
No, have you ever seen the breakdown of Horizon Zero Dawn?
I don't know if it was
really cool to watch.
I don't know if it was Horizon Zero Dawn, but it was something where it shows like the cone of your vision, and it shows how it renders based on where you're looking.
Yeah, which is really cool.
That's essentially how you would have to load a VR game, just because like a traditional loading screen is, and traditional loading screens like in the middle of a game are kind of out of date anyway.
Yeah.
Like I'm thinking like Red Dead 2.
Mm-hmm.
You hit a loading screen when you launch the game, and that's it. Or when you fast travel. And
yeah,
that's
most games just use the cutscene sometimes as like a loading screen. Like look at God of War with their one camera movement and no loading screens. That was one of the biggest things about the 2018 God of War, was that there's no camera cuts. It's all one camera movement. It just moves.
Oh yeah, yeah.
There's not a single camera cut in the game. Except for obviously when you load in, and then that's it.
Well, yeah.
That's obvious. But so
like
what did they do? It's just like what Uncharted does, where you start crawling through like a section, and as it's making you do that slow crawling, you're like, oh, this is fucking annoying. It's loading everything past that point. That's what a lot of games
and that's
do.
a lot of games do that actually. Like elevator rides are a big one.
Mass Effect was notorious for
But
that.
then you end up with like, if you have the game on an old mechanical drive, this isn't really an issue anymore, because even newer mechanical drives don't really have this issue, where your elevator ride is like 2 minutes. You know.
Yeah, you're going up like 3 flights, but
yeah. But newer drives don't really have this issue. I don't think. So I just think there's no excuse to have loading screens. Like Fallout 4 has this, I'm sure 76 has this too, where you enter a building, loading screen. You leave a building,
Skyrim,
loading screen.
Yeah, well, Skyrim, does Skyrim do it?
Oh yeah.
It does it for major buildings, but like some doors you can just open and walk in, right?
No.
Really? It's
you
everyone?
enter any building, loading screen.
Really?
You
Yeah.
leave any building, loading
That
screen.
Sucks.
I believe there's certain towns you can walk into that are gated off. Loading screen.
Ugh.
So I just think loading screens are out in the middle of gameplay is going out of fashion.
I hope so.
Because you don't see that in games very often.
Yeah.
Like, how often did... I'm trying to think back to like The Witcher 3.
Mm-hmm.
How often did you see a loading screen in the middle of your gameplay? Like when you fast travel, and that's kind of it.
It's it. Fast traveling. And yeah, that's about it. Only when it would like switch to Siri for certain quests. But even that wasn't like a loading screen. That was a transition.
Yeah.
It would just do a transition.
Yeah, that's... I mean... So, VR games, like, if a normal-ass game... Like, if a game from literally 2015 could do it, your VR game can do it.
Yeah.
With, like, probably a third of the budget and a third of the company backing it, you know?
Yeah.
Like, CD Projekt Red was really, really small
Up until
at
The Witcher.
the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then The Witcher 3 blew up, and then... Yeah.
Now they're... Yeah. Now we know how successful they are. I was gonna ask if you wanted to talk about some of like the games that were announced at the Game Awards. Which before we get there, I'm just looking at the list so I can get a vague idea. Just Cause 1 is being ported to mobile.
But why?
I mean, don't get me wrong, that sounds kind of cool.
I think Just Cause as a series should have died with Just Cause 3.
There was 2. 2 was like the last really good one in my opinion. 3 just had such a bad launch. Like almost cyberpunk-esque.
Yeah, that's fair. But I definitely think it should have died with 3. There was no need to have a 4th game, and the 4th game had
It's horrendous.
yeah,
Yeah,
like
4th game is like one of the worst games I've ever played.
well, but I have Just Cause 2 and I have all 3. I have the first 3. I have Just Cause 1, 2, and 3.
3's good now, but
I played a little bit of 3. It's just that it's one of those games where like I just really don't care about the story.
yeah,
I really don't care, and it's not made in a way that you can care, really. It's not a very good story. It's just there to... It's like the opposite of The Witcher 3, or the opposite of Red Dead 2, where the shooty blowing up stuff and all that...
sword fighting. And,
yeah, that's the... With Just Cause, that's the main portion of the game. That's the meat of the game.
It's a sandbox. At the end of the day, that's really all Just Cause is.
And the dialogue is just an afterthought. Whereas in like Red Dead, the combat isn't really the meat of the game. It's just kind of a buffer between dialogue, really.
Yeah.
Which is why that game gets an excuse for having like not the most incredible combat.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why it gets a pass.
Same with The Witcher. Combat's not incredible on that either. But essentially it's just meat for you to... It's just buffers between your dialogue, which is the real meat of the game.
Yeah. I also want to talk about how Arc 2 was announced. Have you seen much about Vin Diesel?
Vin Diesel's in it.
He's the executive producer and he's a character in the game.
I think that needs to stop like right now. Just
after Keanu Reeves in Cyberpunk?
Just celebrities using their likeness in a video game. It's strange.
Yeah.
Like, Norman Reedus was like the first one to do it, really.
With Death Stranding. And PT.
PT. And then Death Stranding. It's just Norman Reedus. It's weird.
Yeah.
It's weird. And Johnny Silverhand is just Keanu Reeves. It's super weird.
It's jarring. Luckily for me, like I talked about last episode, not to get back to Cyberpunk, but I never really seen a movie with Keanu in it. So to me, it's like, oh, I know he's an actor, but I haven't seen him. But with Vin Diesel, I've seen the Fast and Furious movies. I love Riddick. Like, this is weird. To see photorealistic Vin Diesel is weird,
yeah. Like, it's just like a guy in real life. Everyone else is like a character, and then you have like a real life guy there. You know? It's like if your custom character creator was just you, like a 3D scan of you.
And you know what that also causes problems with, right? So you get a lot of every game nowadays, every big game looks beautiful, really high-end graphics. But what you have a lot of times is this weird reality shift when you have this like Johnny Silverhand, who is a real guy who has all the proportions of a real man. And then you have these fictional characters that are made out of, in-game models that aren't real people. So you get, like, this weird, like, why does that guy look... Like, I'm looking at this photo here that you obviously can't see, but it's of Vin Diesel standing next to a girl. And they both look super realistic. But if you look at, like, Vin Diesel, he has all of the Vin Diesel wrinkles on his forehead and his...
Yeah,
and
like,
she just looks like a smooth young girl.
It's super weird.
It's very jarring, the difference between the two.
But I thought Ark was still in early access. Or am I just behind the times?
I don't even know. I thought the game was dead.
Like, do people play Ark?
I don't know. Also, there's a new Ark animated series coming out, and he's the producer of it. So. He has over 1,000 hours in the game. That's why they got him for it. Regardless, a little bit weird. Honestly, one of the only things I was excited for, to be real with you, is the new Mass Effect game, because I've always wanted to play the Mass Effect series. So, Kit.
Well, if it's anything like Andromeda, I mean...
Which I don't anticipate, because it actually shows characters from the first 3. So I'm hoping it will be actually good.
Well, here's the thing, is like, a lot of people are like, you should play Mass Effect, you should play Mass Effect, you should play Mass Effect. But it's like, the games came out so long ago now.
That
they would just feel dated.
Yeah. That's the only reason I haven't played them. I thought this was leaked before they announced it to be a remaster of the first 3, which is what I was hoping for, so I could replay them. But
Well, that's the thing is, like, at that point, I would just wait for a remaster. Like, at this point. So I'm probably never going to play the originals.
yeah, which is kind of sucks because I do want to get into them, but yeah, they're just going to feel dated.
Yeah, that's the real that's the reason I didn't play the first Witcher.
Yep, same. That's the reason I haven't played the other Witcher games ever since The Witcher 3, because, I don't know,
The disparity between The Witcher 1 and 2, from what I've heard, is huge.
Really? Because you played the second and the third, right?
Yeah. Between... Did I say 2 and 3?
2 and 1.
Yeah, okay. Between the first and second game is huge. But The Witcher 2 is like a simplified Witcher 3 combat, where with The Witcher 3 they fixed like, or they made it so that it's like
good to look at,
slightly more polished.
Yeah.
Which I like. It's slightly more polished.
Yep.
And it's got just enough polish on it just to make it a bit more like quality of life and a bit more modern.
Yeah.
So 2 is worth playing still.
Because it's dumbed down, but not to the point where it's unplayable.
Like he still controls like Geralt.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, because I've seen gameplay of The Witcher 2, and it genuinely, other than the obvious graphical downgrade, like the HUD and everything, looks very similar.
Yeah,
But
it's like it controls like The Witcher 3 in a way. It's like if The Witcher 3 had a slight birth defect, almost, and it doesn't look as good, and it's a lot shorter.
It's honestly a good thing, because if I was going to replay them, I wouldn't want the length of The Witcher 3, because that took me over 100 hours.
Like, you can play it, you can bang it out in like 30 hours.
Maybe I will give The Witcher 2 a shot.
I did almost all the quests.
Really? Is it open world just like I think it was, right? But there's loading screens?
You have 3 distinct maps.
That's
or
right,
3 distinct areas that you play in. And in those areas, it's open world.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So it's like sandbox levels, but big. Really big.
Essentially, yeah.
Which I like, because we've talked about this before. So, I mean,
the only
massive open world games aren't always the best.
Yeah. The thing is, you can't go back to the other map once you've advanced.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing. That's the only downfall.
That's how a lot of those games were.
The game came out in like 2011 or 2012. So
yeah,
I gotta give it some of a little bit of a break.
Yeah. I mean, I love The Witcher 3. It's a really good game. I still need to play fucking Blood and Wine.
That's a good DLC, man.
Listen, I don't usually have a backlog with games, but like right now, I need to get through Cyberpunk. I need to get through Valhalla. I need to try to balance those 2 games, and then I can worry about like Blood and Wine.
I think after my Cyberpunk experience, what I'm gonna end up doing is going back and playing Far Cry 5.
Really?
Just because I need like a simple thing.
That's the other thing too, is between Valhalla and Cyberpunk, it's like, do I really want to jump into fucking The Witcher? Blood and Wine? Like, that's another massive expansion.
That's quite a thing.
So it's like I kind of want to just play like Call of Duty
like,
after those 2.
Yeah, that's what I said. Like, I want to go back and just like play like Far Cry 5.
Something you can just turn your brain off, kind of.
And then like go back and play Far Cry Primal. Because
Primal's the one I've never played, but I used to be like, this is stupid looking, but I watched someone play through it, and it's actually really cool.
People complained about it a lot when it was released, but I'm like, this looks pretty cool.
Well, I didn't like it at the time because I felt like they were just doing that like weird Assassin's Creed thing where they gave up on plot and just started throwing in like random prehistoric shit.
Because they did.
And they did. And that was kind of annoying because Far Cry 3 was like epic. What did it go? Far Cry 3, Far Cry 4, then Primal, or was it Far Cry 3, Primal, 4?
Yeah, it was 3, 4, Primal, 5.
So like 3 was good for story, really good, one of the best. 2 was good for story. I loved 2. 2 is one of my favorites.
I've only played 3, and I didn't really play the story of 3 that much.
Far Cry 2 I loved. It was the first one I got into. 3 was really good. Loved it.
But at the end of the day, 3, 4, Primal, and 5 all control exactly the same.
They're the same game.
They're the same game with a new coat of paint, really.
Yeah.
Not
much different than Assassin's Creed.
I could go back and play 3 if I really wanted to.
Far Cry 2 was super cool. I loved that game. I really did. That was a cool game. You had malaria in the game.
Oh, really?
And you would constantly get like malaria spikes, and you needed pills, and if you didn't have them, you'd get fucked up.
I liked 4. 4 was really fun. I played through 4.
Yeah, I honestly, I'd say I never played the first one. Well, I did. I played it for like an hour, but it's totally different than 2, 3, and 4. But
yeah.
2, 3, and 4, I genuinely enjoyed them. 5, I don't know, I was just disappointed with for some reason.
From what I played of 5, I liked it.
You know what? If you replay 5, why don't we play it co-op?
Okay.
That'd be a cool idea. I have it.
Because but I played 4. I really liked 4.
Yeah.
The setting was interesting enough.
Character was, somewhat interesting. It was also a voiced character versus Far Cry 5, which isn't.
Yeah, that's true. The biggest thing I liked was the elephants.
Yeah, couldn't you ride them?
Yeah, you can charge into like an enemy camp with an elephant.
And then jump off and start shooting motherfuckers.
Like, you're telling me that's not insane?
That is cool, yeah. No, we should definitely play through 5 together, because what I was going to say was, with Far Cry 5, I felt like it was just meant to be like a Saints Row co-op
something like
experience.
that, yeah.
Like, 3 and 4 were a little more story-focused, 3 more than 4, but 5 was just like, hey, you should get a friend and just blow shit up. And, like, I think we'd have a good time with that.
It was definitely much more over the top than the other games, I kind of liked that about it.
There was entire segment. Did you beat it?
I didn't, no.
Well, there was entire segments with, like, so you know how you have to fight the 3 family members and then the main guy? With Faith, I believe her name is, the girl. She, puts you on hallucinogens for, like, fucking 10 times in the game.
Really?
Yeah, she can appear out of nowhere.
Well, I don't know. They do a bunch of weird shit like that with Far Cry.
They do.
Where
Blood Dragon was another one of those weird ones. Mars DLCs.
Far Cry... Well, yeah, after 5, they just said, fuck it. Isn't there a zombie DLC for 5? Yeah. I have that one, too, because I got, like, Game of the Year edition or whatever they have.
The good thing about Far Cry is it's, like, $6 2 months after release.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's why I refunded Valhalla, because I'm like, well, this is going to be...
By the time you beat Cyberpunk, it'll be, like, $29.99.
I was going to say, this will be $20 by the time I actually get around to wanting to play it.
Yeah.
Far Cry 4 had a lot of that too, where it was just weird shit. You just met like 2 weird guys, and they inject you with drugs, and then and you like hallucinate in the mountains or something.
Isn't it Far Cry 4 where one of the endings is you just get stabbed by a girl you're having sex with?
That's Far Cry 3.
Is it 3? Yeah, it is 3.
You get got during that, or after that, I guess.
Yeah. Man, I really hope you got to finish. That'd be so sad.
That would be.
Last nut. You get shanked. Imagine getting shanked mid-nut.
That'd be tough, man.
You're just like, hang on.
Give me a minute.
Oh, man. Far Cry. What a game. I'm not gonna lie, I'm somewhat anticipating Far Cry 6 because it's supposed to be like a story-driven return to formula.
Far Cry is one of those games that, like, you get in and you kick it around for a while. It's not like you don't get sucked into Far Cry.
Yeah, but a lot of people did with Far Cry 3. That was the thing. Far Cry 3 was the one where people, like... Voss became an iconic character of the series. And Jason became, like, a... I think that was his name in Far Cry 3.
Yeah.
Became, like, a likable character somewhat.
Was Jason the guy in 4? He might have been the guy in 4.
I think so.
No. Wait, no. I don't know.
Oh, they also have New Dawn. Jason Brody was Far Cry 3.
What's Far Cry 3? Who's the guy in Far Cry 4 then?
It's an odd name because he was like part native, I believe, right?
Something like that.
Ajay Gal, yeah, Ajay.
Yeah, yes.
How do they pronounce it? I forgot how they pronounce
it.
Ajay.
Ajay.
A Kiryat native. Yeah, there you go. I knew he was like a native to that area. Because you're burying your mother's ashes or whatever. But Far Cry 3. What the hell was I saying?
People got sucked into that one.
People got sucked into that one for the character development and all that. And Far Cry 6 is supposed to have like another villain like Voss and a main character that's actually voiced. Which, I mean, I feel like the Far Cry games have a pretty good gameplay loop, somewhat. There's a lot of repetitiveness, but like the actual gunplay is pretty fun. That if they can just get a narrative kind of in there that's somewhat interesting, it'll be a good playthrough. You know, a good 20-hour playthrough.
That's also the thing with the Far Cry games is like, again, I played like 4 and some of 5.
Yeah.
From like 4 on, it's a game that like I could not tell you anything that happens in Far Cry 4's story. I can think of like 1 or 2 major things.
I just remember fighting the Yeti in the DLC.
Fighting the Yeti. There's you burn a bunch of opium fields.
Yep.
I
remember Far Cry 5. Far Cry 5 did have kind of cool villains, but I don't know, I just didn't like it. Far Cry 5 had potential, but...
Yeah, Far Cry 4 was just like, it was just kind of there. That's my thing with Far Cry, is I like it just because it's there. It's not like... Sometimes you just like, you get an itch to play Far Cry.
Yeah.
Or like just a game where you can just pick it up and just do random shit and not care, really.
Yeah. Maybe even freaking play like music or something while you're playing. You don't even have to like listen.
Yeah.
Much. Not that I don't really do that, but I know some people do with like games like that. Speaking of likable main characters and Ubisoft, did you see the petitions for the next Assassin's Creed game?
No.
People are petitioning that they want another developed assassin that gets developed over multiple games, like Ezio. And I mean, I'm with them. It's just there's so many series that I love, like Assassin's Creed, where I wish I could just turn back time to like right after maybe Assassin's Creed 4, and just keep the games actually enjoyable, because it's just so far gone. At this point, there's like I think there's 13 Assassin's Creed games.
Something like that.
It's so far gone, man.
Well, there has to be like Assassin's Creed is like one of those things. It's like GTA as
17.
well. Where it's just like it's a bunch of games that all have similar mechanics that all take place in the same universe.
11 main games and 17 spin-offs. What the fuck? Yeah, it's just like Far Cry. Far Cry is just the first-person shooter version of Assassin's Creed. And it's just tough, it's just like, I don't know, man, it's just so far gone. And for me, Valhalla was very much like my favorite, honestly, after the Ezio series. I really, really do love Valhalla, but, I don't know. And you know what's funny? As someone who really enjoyed Assassin's Creed 2 and that, I have a really hard time going back and playing it.
Because it's old.
Yeah, I really do. But, anyway, I don't know if you want to cut this one short, maybe. It's fine, because it'll be like the episode after Christmas, and it is late, yeah. I also don't really want to yell.
Figure out what I'm going to eat for dinner.
Yeah, I also feel like I'm kind of yelling.
Ah!
Well, at like an hour and 10 after interruptions, it'll probably be like an hour and 4, maybe. But it'll be fine. We did a really long Cyberpunk episode the week before.
Unless you have anything else you want to talk about.
No, it's literally on the notes. We even went off the notes and just started talking in general.
What?
So we're pretty good at our job, if I do say so myself.
Oof. What do you want?
Yo, he looks like a prisoner. What is he looking at? Staring the shit at me, dude.
He's just looking.
Yo, he looks mad funny from that angle. Ooh.
He's
like that, yeah. But yeah. Alright, yeah, if you want to round it out, let's go for it. That's all I got on Far Cry and AC.
Yeah, it's a bit of a shorter one this week, but
it's almost 8 o'clock.
There's that, and I gotta eat something eventually. But we had a really long episode last week. We usually go like an hour 15. That was probably gonna be like an hour 30, an hour 40.
Yeah. So, hope you guys had a happy Christmas or Merry Christmas. We didn't even talk about it, but
Merry Christmas or holiday, whatever you celebrate, I don't really care. I just hope you had a happy one.
Alright, good to know. Also, I've been wondering why my laptop was like going into sleep mode every couple minutes. It turns out it's not plugged in. It's plugged in, but you never plugged it into the strip. So it's at 18%.
Holy shit, I'm retarded.
No, there's no point even plugging it in at this point.
No, it's what? Is this it? It's plugged in.
It's not plugged in. You sure the power strip is on?
It's definitely on.
Wait a minute, did it just like brick itself?
The light's on. Oh, this isn't the right charger.
Oh, that's not it. Okay, I was scared. I was like, I thought it bricked itself. It should be whatever one is.
It's over here. You never tossed me the plug. That's why.
Yeah, I just tossed it down there. So anyway, I'm surprised loud. Hey, at least now I know. Honestly, we can probably. I don't even need the charger anymore.
So on that note, I guess we're gonna end the episode right here.
Signing out.
Is there any goodbyes you want to say?
Fuck off.
Fuck off. Get out of my house.
Bitch.
No, for real. Get out of my house.
Alright, I'm packing my shit. I gotta go.
Yeah, leave.
Alright, I'm getting there.